Hook. Right. Imagine being born smaller than a grain of rice, having absolutely rubbish fins that barely work, and your mouth being permanently stuck open like you're constantly shocked. Oh, and you're going to grow into a 2-ton floating pancake that can't swim backwards. Ever. Sounds mental? Welcome to life as an ocean sunfish, quite possibly the most spectacularly useless creature evolution ever accidentally created. And trust me, it gets so much worse. Main content. So there you are, fresh into the world as one of the tiniest baby fish in the entire ocean. Whilst other baby fish at least resemble miniature versions of their parents, you're just some bizarre spiky ball with a tail stuck on the end, floating about like a confused cotton bud. You're not alone though. You've been born alongside thousands of siblings, all of you looking equally bewildered, just drifting wherever the ocean fancies taking you. Here's the thing, yeah? You need to grow 60 million times bigger than you are right now. 60 million. That's assuming you don't get munched in the next 5 minutes, which, let's be honest, is a proper tall order. Your first day is basically playing Don't Get Eaten on the hardest difficulty setting imaginable. The ocean's absolutely rammed with hungry mouths, and right now you're about as threatening as a floating speck of dust. That fish swimming nearby? It's just gobbled up 50 of your brothers and sisters without even noticing. Didn't even pause for a chew. Just hoovered them up like they were nothing. The ocean currents aren't doing you any favors either. Massive streams of water flowing through the sea like underwater motorways, except you can't choose which exit to take. You and your remaining siblings are just getting shoved about like crisp packets in the wind. Speaking of moving about, whoever designed your fins clearly knocked off early on Friday afternoon. You try to swim, but all you manage is this pathetic little wiggle. Not that you've got time to feel embarrassed about it. You're too busy trying to figure out which end is even your front. Your siblings aren't doing any better, mind you. It's like watching a bunch of dizzy toddlers trying to walk for the first time after spinning around until they re-sick. Your first attempt at finding food is even more disastrous. Your mouth doesn't even close properly. You're stuck with this permanently surprised expression, like someone's just told you your mom's cooking is actually quite good. You spot some tasty-looking plankton floating by. But trying to catch food with an always open mouth is like trying to catch water with a broken colander. Most of it just flows straight past whilst you spin around helplessly like a broken washing machine. Just when you think things genuinely cannot get any worse, you discover another design flaw. You can't swim backwards. At all. Ever. Got something scary coming at you from the front? Too bad, mate. Your only options are to keep swimming forward and hope for the best. Or try to turn around like you're attempting the 3-point turn in a lorry whilst drunk. The hours turn into days, and somehow against all odds, you're still alive. Though you fairly certain it's just more down to blind luck than any actual skill on your part. You drift through the ocean like a lost balloon, eating whatever accidentally floats into your permanently open gob. Your siblings? Most of them are already someone else's lunch. Out of the thousands of baby sunfish born with you, maybe 1 or 2 will make it to adulthood. Right now, your odds aren't looking brilliant. Days turn into weeks, and somehow you've survived your completely helpless baby phase. You start noticing changes. Your body feels different, rounder. Those useless little fins? They're actually starting to work properly. You give them an experimental flap and, blimey, you actually move forward on purpose this time. It's not exactly graceful or anything, but at least you're not just drifting aimlessly anymore like some sort of aquatic tumbleweed. But growing bigger comes with its own special set of problems. And trust me, you're about to face the biggest problem that'll haunt you for your entire existence. The other day you're cruising along when you spot it. The most perfect, juicy jellyfish you've ever seen in your short life. Time for lunch, you think. You start swimming towards it, feeling quite confident about your improved swimming skills. 10 seconds pass. Still swimming. 20 seconds. Why isn't it getting any closer? A minute later, you finally reach your target, only to bump your face right into it and discover it's actually a plastic bag floating twice as far away as you thought. Turns out depth perception isn't your strong suit. This isn't your strong suit. This happens 3 more times that day alone. At this point, you're starting to think maybe you need glasses or something. Now you're facing a different problem altogether. You keep floating to the surface like a broken pool toy. Apparently, nobody told your body that fish are supposed to stay underwater. One morning you find yourself stuck up top, getting absolutely roasted by the sun. Ever tried pushing a balloon underwater? Yeah, that's your life now. Brilliant. You're drifting near the surface one day, trying to spot some jellyfish for lunch, when you hear this weird rumbling sound. Something massive is moving towards you. Your brain takes way too long to process what it is. Oh wait, that's a boat. And it's not as far away as you thought. Thanks again, terrible depth perception. You try to dive down, but of course your body decides this is the perfect time to float like a cork. At the last second, you manage an awkward panic dive. The boat passes right over where you were floating, leaving you with a racing heart and a new item on your trying not to die checklist. Once your heart stops racing and you finally calm down, your stomach reminds you why you were up there in the first place. Food. You spot what looks like the perfect jellyfish floating nearby. Swimming closer. You open your already open mouth not like you have a choice and chomp down confidently. Nope, plastic bag again. You spit it out, only to see another jellyfish drifting by. This one has to be real, right? Wrong. Another plastic bag. Having a permanently open mouth isn't helping matters. You're basically a swimming vacuum cleaner that can't turn off. And then it starts. A tiny itch at first, like a tickle you can't scratch on your back. But this isn't just any itch, and it's about to become the biggest nightmare of your entire life. Welcome to the worst part of being a sunfish. You're about to become a living hotel for parasites. And not just a few parasites, mind you, we're talking hundreds of them. Inside and outside your body. They start setting up camp everywhere. On your skin, in your gills, even in your organs. Think it can get worse? These aren't normal-sized parasites. Some of them are longer than your fins. They're burrowing into your flesh, throwing parties in your stomach, and probably charging rent to each other. The worst part? There's absolutely nothing you can do about it. No hands to scratch with. No way to twist your body to rub against rocks. Not even a way to swim fast enough to shake them off. You just have to float there, feeling them crawl all over and inside you, like the world's worst full-body massage that never, ever ends. Other fish at least get cleaner fish to help them out. But most of them take one look at you and swim away. You're too big, too weird, and way too infested, so this is your life now. A floating buffet for every parasite in the ocean. And remember, you're still growing. More body just means more real estate for your unwanted tenants. Speaking of growing, over the next few years you balloon to the size of a small car. Welcome to adult life, where you're basically a floating billboard that says, "Weird fish here." Tourist boats chase you around. Everyone pointing cameras while screaming, "Look at that thing!" You'd feel special if you weren't so utterly annoyed by the whole situation. Sometimes boats mistake you for a shark fin and panic. You almost wish you were a shark. At least they can chase things and look cool doing it. Meanwhile, you out here struggling to swim in a straight line whilst carrying around 2 tons of body weight and about 1,000,000 parasites having the time of their lives in your flesh. One sunny morning, you're at your usual spot near the surface, trying to warm up your parasite-covered body when you hear the familiar sound of tourist boats approaching. Another day of being a floating circus act. Cameras flash. People point and laugh at your weird shape. You're used to this by now. But then you hear it, a different engine sound. Louder and faster. Before your slow brain can process what's happening, before you can even attempt your clumsy dive, a speedboat crashes into you at full speed. The impact sends shockwaves through your massive body. The ocean around you turns red. Your last thought as you sink into the darkness? Maybe being this big wasn't such a good idea after all. The tourists got their final photos though. Just not the ones they were expecting. The electric eel. From pathetic voltage nugget to nature's power plant hook. You're born into a nest made entirely of your dad's spit bubbles. You're supposed to have electric superpowers but can barely make a spark. And oh yeah, you're a fish that has to breathe air like some sort of confused snake with identity issues. Welcome to life as an electric eel, where everything that can go wrong does go wrong, until suddenly it doesn't. Main content. So there you are, hatching into this strange world, floating in a nest made of bubbles. Not just any bubbles though. Your dad literally made them with his own saliva. Yeah, that's your first home. Whilst other animals get cozy nests or protective eggs, you get a bunch of spit bubbles. Cheers, Dad, really feeling the love here. As you hatch, you wiggle free along with thousands of your siblings. All of you look like tiny transparent noodles drifting in the murky water. Your first few movements are wobbly and confused. Left, right, up, down, who even knows which way is which. And if that's not bad enough, You're supposed to be this amazing electric creature, but right now you can barely make a spark. It's like having superpowers, except they forgot to actually turn them on. But you don't get much time to figure things out, do you? The Amazon River isn't exactly a friendly place for baby electric eels who can't even power a tiny light bulb. Every shadow makes your tiny heart race, and for good reason too. That floating log nearby actually a common. Think of it as the Amazon's version of a crocodile. Just as hungry, just as interested in making you its breakfast. Those bubbles on the surface? Probably a giant fish coming up for a snack. And you're the perfect size for a quick bite. Small, slow, and possibly quite tasty. Your stomach starts to rumble, and that's when you realize something rather important. No mom or dad around to feed you. They ditched you faster than a teenager ditching homework. You're on your own, mate. Suddenly, you spot something small moving through the murky water. Your first potential meal. You wiggle towards it, but so do about 50 of your siblings. It's absolute chaos. Everyone's scrambling, pushing, shoving, trying to grab this tiny fish. By the time you actually reach where the fish was, all that's left is water and a bunch of equally disappointed brothers and sisters. Turns out being born into a family of thousands means dinner time is never peaceful. And you're definitely not the fastest in the family. Your lungs start burning. Unlike normal fish that can just chill underwater forever, you have to constantly swim up to the surface for air. Yeah, someone clearly messed up in the design department. You're a fish that can't properly fish. You look up nervously at the bright surface above. Just as you're about to take your first swim up, you spot a shadow moving overhead. Your heart races, but your lungs are screaming for air. You don't have a choice. You gather all your courage, zoom up to the surface, grab a quick breath, and dart back down to safety as fast as you can. Well, that's something you'll have to do every single day of your life. Thanks a lot, nature. Oh, and I forgot to tell you something very important. The water you're living in isn't exactly a crystal clear swimming pool. It's the Amazon River, and it's basically brown soup. You can barely see your own tail in front of you, let alone what's swimming around you. You keep bumping into things. Logs, rocks, and sometimes angry piranhas who, by the way, are not interested in your apologies. Sure, you're supposed to develop some fancy electric sensors to help you navigate, but right now you're about as useful as a broken compass. So here you are, basically blind, swimming around in muddy water, hoping whatever you just crashed into isn't hungry. By your third month, you're starting to generate more power, maybe 10 volts. Congratulations, you've upgraded from completely useless to mildly annoying. Other fish don't flee in terror. They just get slightly irritated, like when someone keeps poking you with a finger. Your hunting technique is less mighty predator and more. Please stay still whilst I try to shock you with my weak battery powers. But here's where things start getting interesting. As you grow, that pathetic zap starts becoming something more substantial. 20 volts, 30 volts, 50 volts, now we're cooking. Small fish actually start taking you seriously. Sure, you're still nowhere near full power, but at least you're not the underwater equivalent of a TV remote with dying batteries anymore. By 6 months, you're pushing 100 volts, and life is getting better. You spot a juicy fish swimming nearby, the kind that used to laugh at your tiny zaps. You focus, feel the electricity building up in your body, a whole 100 volts now, and let it rip. The fish freezes, stunned by your shock. Success. But there's just one tiny problem. You're discovering that your own electricity flows through the water around you too. So when you rush in to grab your stunned prey, you swim right into your own electric field. Ouch! It's like cooking a great meal and then spilling it all over yourself. The fish recovers and swims away whilst you're left there, feeling tingly from your own shock. Who knew being an electric eel meant sometimes zapping yourself during dinner? But hey, at least you're getting better at hunting. You just need to work on your timing a bit. As your first year approaches, you're finally starting to become something that deserves the name electric eel. Your voltage is climbing higher and higher, and predators are starting to think twice before trying to eat you. Sure, you're still stuck in muddy water, still have to surface for air like some confused amphibian, and still occasionally shock yourself. But hey, at least you're not just a living battery with performance issues anymore. Welcome to your teenage years. Whilst human teens worry about spots and awkward school dances, you've got your own special problems. Sure, you're now packing some serious voltage, we talking 400 volts and climbing, but it's just not all shocking glory. Try making friends when you're basically a swimming power plant. Get too excited around another eel? Zap! It's like having a really bad static electricity problem. Except instead of small shocks, you might knock someone unconscious. Things are different now. You've discovered you have not just one, but 3 electric superpowers. First, there's your gentle electric pulse, like a built-in radar that helps you see through the murky water. Then comes your medium shock, strong enough to stun small fish for dinner. And finally, your most powerful attack, a massive shock that can even make a caiman think twice about trying to eat you. Speaking of predators, remember that caiman that used to terrify you? Just yesterday, you saw one swimming nearby. Your heart started racing, but then something amazing happened. You let out a powerful shock, and that caiman darted away so fast you could have sworn it was walking on water. Even those troublemaking river otters that hunt in groups stay clear of you now. But being powerful comes with its own problems. The other day, you spotted some fish swimming together, having fun. You tried to join them, but as soon as they saw you coming, they all scattered. Turns out being a living battery means everyone's too scared to be your mate. Plus, creating all this electricity makes you absolutely starving all the time. It's like having a superpower that makes you need to eat every few hours. You spot another fish, zap it for dinner, but now you're knackered and need to find more food again. Who knew being electric could be so exhausting? There are some good things about being all grown up with your electric powers, though. The other day, you were swimming along when you felt something move nearby, not saw it, felt it. Your electric sense has gotten so good you can tell exactly what's swimming around you, how big it is, and which way it's moving. It's like having superpowered eyes that work in the dark, muddy water. You've also found the perfect spot in the river. A cozy bend with plenty of hiding places and loads of fish swimming through. But here's the thing, other electric eels want your spot too. Just yesterday, another eel tried to move in. What happened next was like an underwater light show. Both of you releasing shock after shock, seeing who would give up first. The water practically crackled with electricity. Finally, the other eel decided your spot wasn't worth the trouble and swam away. Being king of your territory isn't easy, but at least you've got the power to keep it. After winning the fight and defending your territory, you notice something else. Another electric eel swimming by. But this time it's different. It's not about fighting for territory. There's something special about this one. The only problem? You're both walking power plants. Getting close to another electric eel is tricky business. One wrong move and you both end up shocking each other. So you have to be extra careful, moving slowly, trying to get close without setting off a spark show. But eventually you figure it out. Turns out love really can conquer all. You know what? Life isn't so bad anymore. Sure, you still have to come up for air like some confused fish-snake hybrid. And yes, sometimes you shock yourself when you're just trying to enjoy a meal. But you've gone from being a pathetic little voltage nugget to becoming one of the Amazon's most powerful creatures. You're not just surviving anymore. You're thriving. Those river otters that used to hunt you? Now they spread rumors about how their friend's sister once got shocked by an electric eel and saw all of their ancestors. That caiman that terrorized you as a baby? It now pretends to be asleep when you swim by. You've become the thing that goes bump and zap in the night. Closing. So there you have it, folks. 2 completely mental tales from the underwater world. The ocean sunfish, nature's biggest design disaster. A fish so spectacularly useless, it makes you wonder if evolution was having a laugh. Born smaller than a grain of rice. Can't swim backwards. Can't close its mouth. Terrible at judging distances. Covered in parasites. And ultimately getting smashed by a speedboat. Proper tragic, that. And then there's the electric eel. Born in a spit bubble nest, can't even make a decent spark at first. Has to breathe air despite being a fish, and regularly shocks itself whilst trying to eat dinner. But unlike the sunfish, this one actually figures things out. Goes from pathetic voltage nugget to becoming one of the most feared predators in the Amazon. It's mental how nature works sometimes, innit? One fish evolves into a 2-ton floating disaster that can't do anything right. The other starts off equally rubbish but ends up as a proper apex predator with literal superpowers. Shows you that evolution's either brilliant or completely taking the mick, and honestly, it's probably both. If you enjoyed these absolutely bonkers tales of underwater survival, or in the sunfish's case, spectacular failure, smash that like button and subscribe for more wild stories from the natural world. I've got loads more mental creatures to tell you about, and trust me, they just keep getting weirder. Cheers for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.